I remember it like it was yesterday. The tornado sirens were going off. It was June of 2024. I was laying in bed in Bentonville, Arkansas. We were there for Bike Fest. And the tornado didn't hit the house we were in, but it did hit a lot. So we ended up helping people cut trees, get out of their homes, and clean their driveways enough to get their cars out. Well, many teams were working hard, sweaty, tired, exhausted. And then another gentleman showed up with several chainsaws. He began cutting at a pace no one else could match. But he wasn't totally sweating. It was actually amazing to watch. He even began to stop and give others tips. Not only did he cut more trees faster, he taught people as he went while he was doing cutting, and the entire group got faster. Once in a while, he would stop and sharpen his saw or their saw. Interestingly enough, several others didn't stop to take his advice, and this memory and results still resonate with me. The team that stopped to sharpen the saws and use them more effectively did much more work with less effort. This is a real-life example installed Stephen Covey's law of the saw as a permanent fixture in my memory, and I'm thankful for it. See, he tells a story of the real-life story that I watched play out to make one of the most important points in leadership development. Many times, the most productive thing you can do is sometimes the thing that looks like stopping. Now, picture a master craftsman, not someone who just owns a lot of tools. Anyone can walk into a hardware store and buy tools. A master craftsman is someone who has spent years learning their craft, who knows which tool belongs in which moment, who can feel when the work is right and when something is off, who has been taught by someone further down the road how to use what they carry. That's not just a skill. That's a craftsman and a lineage. Every great craftsman was shaped by someone who came before them, and every great craftsman eventually passes those skills on. That's what we're trying to build here. Leadership has a toolbox, and feedback and coaching are not just tools in that box. They are how your toolbox grows, and my toolbox grows. When you learn to give feedback and receive it well, you're sharpening someone else's saw. And as you receive it, you're letting someone sharpen yours. The leaders I've watched struggle most weren't the ones who lacked talent. They weren't even the ones that didn't work hard. They were the ones that stopped learning, who thought their tools they had at 30 would be enough at 50. The leaders I've watched thrive were the ones who stayed in the craft, who kept asking, what do I not know yet? They found coaches and mentors and peers who would tell them the truth. Here's the counterintuitive thing about investing in your craft. Slowing down made me faster. Slowing down made that entire team cutting trees faster. And when I stopped trying to outrun my growth and started walking through it, when I sat with a coach and let her ask the hard questions, my results didn't slow down, they accelerated significantly. Not because I was working harder, but because I was working with more skill. A sharp saw cuts faster than a dull one, every time. Craftsmen don't just sharpen their tools once in a career, they sharpen them regularly, before the work begins, after lunch. The first part of your day, I think, is when you sharpen. It's before you begin. You don't get on your phone and scroll the internet. You don't react to everything that's coming in. You don't open someone else's agenda before you've even thought about your own. You get up and exercise, move your body, even 10 minutes. Get your mind and your physiology working together before the day demands them. Write down what matters, not the list. The 3 things that are actually going to move your work forward. You can do your list too. But then go into your conversations with your tool sharp. Listen more than you speak, ask before you tell, stay present long enough to hear what's actually being said. Feedback and coaching are how you learn the craft of leadership, how you pass it on, how you build a team that doesn't need you for every cut. See, the craftsman's greatest work is not what they build themselves. It's the apprentice who builds behind them. That's the toolbox. That's the skill. That's how this cohort is not one more thing. Hopefully, it's one thing that makes everything else sharper. Stay in the craft. We're in this together. That's Brilliance in the Basics. We'll see you next time.